Temp next balance patch. Final 23. Bong, bong, bong. Hey.
Reminder, if I see another Ash player I am going to piss on the moon.
What? No way. She says that? Wait, what? He poops grenades? Yo, what is this?
Who took my dentures?
Who took my dentures? Hey. Wait, what? What? How, what? I didn't even die. Wait, what? Wait, what? What? How did he do that? Wait. Zenyatta. What? What is Zenyatta doing? Wait. His shield follows him? What is this? Whoa, what the freak, Baptiste? Hey, yo, listen up. So, Overwatch 2 has some very serious new patch notes, and make sure you don't tell anyone except for everyone. If you were confused like me, this video may help you understand what's going on for the next couple days or until the day Overwatch's servers go to sleep. These abilities are definitely lasting forever. Real patch notes, very, very serious. First off, all heroes have new ultimate voice lines. And they also keep 50% of ultimate charge when swapping heroes. Moving on to the tank role passives, gain ultimate charge 10% faster, and the hero that gets the final blow on the tank gains a significant amount of ultimate charge. The damage role passives, they heal 50% health on each elimination. This change should also keep you alive, at least, as if you're a good DPS, right? If you're getting picks. And finally, the support role passive, gain 30% increased movement speed for 4 seconds when reaching low health. It's okay to go DPS mode sometimes, just not all the time. More so 30% of the time. Now moving on to individual characters, starting with the tanks. Doomfist. According to lore, his seismic slam can be empowered by power block. Damage increased from 50 to 75 when empowered. The enemies hit by the shockwave are launched into the air, which is crazy. This is a big buff for D.Va. Her defense matrix, after deflecting a projectile, defense matrix deals 30 damage to enemies within its area of effect over 1 second. Defense matrix killing blows grant an additional 5% ult charge to her as well. Some of these changes are pretty interesting. I don't know if they should keep every single one of them, but some of them should be kept. Maybe this is just a taste of what PvE is going to be like, because I heard that you're able to add different abilities to each character. So I'm really excited to see what they'll add for PvE. But for Junker Queen, Commanding Shout applies a bleed effect to enemies in range when activated. Orisa, so her javelin spin, when you spin it in the air, she pulls forward in the facing direction. So I guess she could fly a little bit. And her Fortify, as I said before, increases falling speed and deals damage in an area when Orisa lands on the ground. It's like Mario's butt slam. And Ramatra, Omnic form is disabled. Ramatra now always is in Nemesis form, so he's always doing damage. And his bonus armor is decreased from 225 to 125, which is fair because he's always in DPS form. His void barrier is moved to ability 1, and block now has 1 second cooldown when disengaged. So he can basically block all the time and keep punching. If you play Reinhardt in game, I didn't really play with him, but I saw it later on by looking at different videos. They actually translate what you say to what Reinhardt would say in game. It's actually pretty funny. But his charge now grants flight. When you hold jump, you float up, and when you press crouch, you go down. And his steering is increased by 33%. And now Roadhog. In order to further align Roadhog as a tank who punishes bad positioning, we've increased the range of hook to make all positioning bad positioning. So it's not fair. They increased Roadhog's chain hook to 50%. That's crazy. Sigma, accretion. Enemies hit with the impact are knocked back and experience low gravity for 4 seconds. So he brings the moon down to earth. Eat this rock. And his cooldown is decreased from 10 to 8 seconds. So you can throw that rock all you want. Where's Walter White when you need him? Winston. Dev comment. Winston. So this doesn't really say much, but if you actually play in the game, he creates this bubble around him. So instead of the bubble going down onto the ground, he puts it on his chest and he walks around like he's a little walking bubble. It's crazy. And he always says Winston for every voice line. Winston. Wrecking Ball. Grappling Claw increases his maximum speed, and it temporarily increases when he's bouncing off a wall. So he could ping pong, I think, up to 3 to 4 times, which is really cool. In his minefield, his mines slowly move toward nearby enemies, which is a little creepy if you don't really notice what's going on around you. In Zarya, so her Graviton Surge moves towards Zarya while deploying. And then her Particle Cannon has self knockback on secondary fire, and it scales with energy level. Oh, now to DPS. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I hated fighting Ashe in this arcade, and I learned quickly what she does. In order to be more accurate to the fantasy, the lore, Dynamite Fire now spreads between players. Up to 4 players, 4 times to be exact. Her dynamite explodes and just burns you alive. Now she's ladies who lit. She's litty for really. Bastion though. So when he's in assault mode, his tactical grenade has a 0.5 second cooldown, meaning you could just throw like up to 10 grenades while you're in tank form or turret form. It's crazy. For all you Bastion mains, that's for you. Cassidy's really interesting. His combat role now costs regenerating stamina instead of having a cooldown, and that kind of acts like Moira's healing. If you use Moira, she has like a healing and a siphon bar, and you see a new bar around your reticle. That's essentially your stamina. It regenerates over time, and you can use it as much as it regenerates. So you dodge all the damage when your combat role is active, and instead of reloading all 6 bullets, you reload only 2. So that's definitely a nerf. He's pretty fun, but it was hard to get used to. Echo was interesting. She's a lot stronger. So her projectile damage already does 17, but they decreased it to 12. But her tri-shot now fires 2 additional projectiles. So technically a pentashot, I guess. So she uses all 5 fingers, which makes more sense, right? Oh, and Genji. Sometimes Genji heals himself when requesting healing. So you can spam I need healing. And if you're an arcade and you're a healer and you don't know nothing about these patch notes and you just see a Genji spamming I need healing, he's healing himself most likely. Hanzo spent many years mastering the bow and geometry to pull off this feat. Definitely has nothing to do with magic. So his storm arrow ricochets toward the sonic arrow. So if you put out your sonic arrow, which is his radar, and it sticks to somebody, you can just spam your storm arrows, and wherever you shoot it, it will bounce and ricochet wherever the arrow is. Junkrat was interesting because when I see him do this, I couldn't believe it with my own eyes. He drops grenades when launching himself with a concussion mine. That's really cheap, but it doesn't work all the time. But when it works, it works. And in May, we noticed a decrease in May players helping their team group up and spawn with Ice Wall. This is core to May's gameplay, so we added additional ice pillars to help facilitate it. So her Ice Wall spawns more pillars and has slightly different configurations. So you can do like plus signs, X's, squares, and U's. It's like playing football with May. It's like your O-line or something. Pharaoh got the most reworked, but not too much. The only biggest rework, I guess you could say, is her rockets don't do damage to her, and you have increased knockback. Her barrage also doesn't do damage, but it has increased knockback, and her hoverjet fuel is decreased by 33%, which sucks because you need to be flying most of the time. And now for Reaper, basically Shadow Step. This is really stupid. You just move forward a little bit while using the ability, but I don't know if that helps. But Soldier though, so her power slide now impacts enemies when you kick them. It does 75 damage, it launches them upward, and then it knocks them down and it stuns them for 1.5 seconds. I think that's cool, so you can get that headshot. You slide into them, do a slide cancel, then bing, headshot. In Soldier 76, why leave it on the ground when you can keep it in your pocket instead? So his biotic field that heals you, it actually attaches. So it attaches the Soldier 76 to wherever he goes, and he's always healing himself. I don't know if it's like a wide area healing effect, but if it is, that's useful. Sombra, so now her translocator, it does 120 damage in an area that she teleports to, and her projectile speed is increased from 25 to 40, and cooldown decreased from 10 seconds to 6 seconds for her translocator. You can practically kill someone just by teleporting to their location. I might be a Sombra main now. Symmetra. Basically, when you throw Symmetra's turrets, it actually damages them in flight. So you could hurt people by throwing out your turret. And the turrets have 60% damage resistance before sticking to a terrain. Usually you can just melee them and then boom, they're done. But nope, not anymore. Torbjorn, with his overload, it causes his rivet gun and forge hammer to ignite enemies, dealing 30 additional damage over time. So I thought it was only the hammer, fire. But no, it's also his gun. If you shoot people, you burn them. So he turns into ash. And it makes sense because his molten core is active. And Tracer. Recall pulls nearby enemies when activated. And her pulse bomb arming time is increased from 1 second to 2 seconds. That's kind of a nerf, but at least, you know, you could get out of the way. Widowmaker is one of the most annoying changes that I went through in arcade, and I didn't really realize what was going on until I watched the replays. So critical hits deal damage 3 seconds over time as poison, and Widowmaker can see all poison enemies through the walls. And now on to support. Ana, her biotic rifle can now do headshot damage to enemies, which is huge. That should be a change. I agree. I feel like everyone should vote on that, even Ana mains. And Baptiste, this is so wild. His exo boots, when you jump with them, he has more horizontal distance, scaling with the charge amount. And when you hold space or jump after using the boots, you keep on jumping or bouncing on the ground. He has infinite movement, more than Lucio. It's crazy. And Brigitte, her whip shot basically pulls her towards wherever she flails or whips it. She's more like Batman, because it's like a grappling hook. Man, Kiriko. Her swift step range is increased from 35 to 350 meters. Bruh, she could teleport through the entire map with no backlash. Her cooldown now scales with the distance traveled. And Lucio, his sound wave now deflects projectiles, and his cooldown is decreased from 4 to 3 seconds. Fair, I like that. I think that is actually a really good change that they should add. Mercy, her blaster ammo is increased from 25 to 125 bullets, and her projectile speed increased from 50 to 125. So you DPS Mercies out there, go crazy, go wild. Oh, go crazy, go stupid. And for Moira, her biotic orb, pressing the ability input while biotic orbs are active causes them to stop or start moving. And finally for Zenyatta, this one was the most surprising out of all of them. His regular snap kick launches Zenyatta in his facing direction when used in mid-air. So essentially when he kicks up in the sky, he could fly. So you're gonna see a lot of flying Zenyatas. But yeah, this is my first-hand experience with all this without even knowing any of these. So hopefully this helps you a lot. Enjoy.
What the?
Arigato.
That's lame, boy.
Hey, yo, MansTooLit.
What's up? That's lame, boy.
Yeah. Hey, yo, MansTooLit. I was too lit, so I gotta spread this love, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, MansTooLit.
What's up? That's lame, boy.
Yeah. Hey, yo, MansTooLit.
I was too lit, so I gotta spread this love, boy.